Holy Lord and Jesus Christ, we're doing this.
What the fuck are you doing if you're not chilling?
AK40DEVIN.
Everyone
Oh!
What the fuck are you doing if you're not chilling?
Oh, it's over. Oh, we're wearing the same hat. Oh, we're wearing the same hat. Oh, we're wearing the same hat. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Look at this kid. This is crazy. Yo, come on in, bro. Come on in.
Damn, this is insane, bro.
Bro, we got the setup, man.
This is just how I pictured it. What's good? Where's the camera
damn.
here?
Yeah, you got the camera right there. That's for now. This is just for our trip to our destination, our first destination.
So I'm a little overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, it's cool, bro. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I'm not gonna hold you. I have this really weird jank setup going on. I learned from the first time I did this, but
Yeah.
real quick, we're gonna do an intro and then
Here, I got a gift. Let me give you my
oh
gift
yeah,
first.
dude, of course.
Got you a Soundslick Productions hoodie, my brother.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I just needed a black hoodie too. I was looking for a black hoodie.
Hey,
That's what's up. That's the universe speaking, bro. Let me see this.
Hey, let's go.
Sick, bro. This is sick. Actually and literally sick. All right. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AyooChill podcast, season 5. How have we been doing this? You know what's funny? It's like I started doing the seasons yearly, but like we're like a year like ahead. So technically, it's I've been doing it for 4 years. I've been doing it like it's season 5, but I've been doing it for 4 years because one of the seasons got like cut off.
It's all good.
Anyway. My friend, you're a very familiar person on this podcast, but for the people who don't know, let the people know who you are and where you're from.
What's going on, y'all? I go by the name of AK40DEVIN. Actually, now I got a lot of nicknames. AK40DEVIN, Desert Dev, Dakota Dev, Devi Dev, Devin. My son calls me Dad. Girls call me Dad, too. Nah, I'm just joking.
Can I call you Dad?
Nah. But yeah, anyway, man, I started off my journey as an artist, a musician, evolved into a videographer. Now we run a video production company called Soundslick Productions. And yeah, man, I mean, me in a nutshell, I'm an artist, I'm a videographer, and I'm a content creator.
Sick, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get to conversating in a second. I'm going to just put the directions for the location we're going to. And
Let's
then
go.
from there, we'll kind of, from there we'll actually sit down and kind of get deep into stuff. But right now, we're kind of just going to chill like we would in any other place.
This setup is insane, bro. What's going on over here?
There's a lot of things going on, bro. Like, this is episode 2 of season 5. The first episode I decided would be a pilot, which I actually did with Cece Camacho. Shout out to Cece Camacho.
Shout out.
She doing her podcast kind of helped me realize what I needed and what I didn't need to do this correctly, and kind of like the vision I see for this, right? So like, yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on in this
insane.
car. So yeah, dude, but we'll get going, dude. I actually don't know if I'm allowed to wear headphones while I drive. I'm gonna keep one ear out just in case.
Well, that's a good question.
Who knows?
Do deaf people drive?
Dude, deaf. I mean, yeah, because they could see, right? And actually, I'm gonna close this too. They could see, right?
Yeah, but hearing is an important element of driving, don't you think?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, so many people like drive without like with the music blasting, right? I don't know if you've ever seen like Dominican culture with the Honda Civics, but they got like 50 subs in a car. I doubt they could hear anybody driving. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is insane, bro. I mean, I'm extremely excited. I don't think my intro was the best, but you guys could just look me up on the internet and just look up and figure out who I am, man. I'm an evolved artist who also just does their own content creation, and yeah, that's who I am, man.
So we actually had you on the podcast like maybe, oh my God, it has to be more than a year ago now, I feel like.
Yeah, I was actually watching it yesterday instead of a year ago, but it was probably in the summertime, I feel like.
Yeah, because that was I had you on for. Oh, I actually remember now. I had you on. You were the first episode after I did my June in Jersey series.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Because I couldn't have you on June in Jersey because you're not technically from Jersey, even though you in Jersey a lot. You feel me? But
me and Jersey align.
But yeah, dude. So. Can you give people a little bit of a deeper synopsis on how it is being who you are and what you kind of do on a day-to-day basis?
Man, so on a day-to-day basis, we'll start with Thursday through Sunday. I'm with my son. I'm a single dad at the moment. Ladies, I'm taking applications. But yeah, Thursday to Sunday, I'm with my son. So I'm usually waking him up, or he's waking me up rather, 7:30, 8 a.m. We wake up. First thing that we usually do is just eat some breakfast. Whatever my son wants for breakfast, I go and get it for him. It's either we're going to the pancake factory, we're sitting down, my son's making me consolidate him a fruit bowl with some strawberries, some blueberries, some raspberries, maybe a little bit of banana in there. Or I'm making him some Cinnamon Toast Crunch, some Lucky Charms, something like that.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is lit.
Yeah, we usually go on through the day like that. If I'm not bringing my son to school, which I did this morning at 7:30 a.m., and he goes to school in Orange County, which is about 30, 40 minutes north of here. 5-0. Anyway, they're probably looking at us like, yo, what the fuck are these motherfuckers doing? Anyway, yeah, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, I'm getting my son ready for the day. Depending on my mom's schedule, I'm either getting right to work in the morning or I gotta stay busy with him. I'm kind of done with me trying to work with him home in the sense of that now he's 5. He needs a lot of attention. He needs a lot of hands-on attention. And yeah, so bro, honestly, it's so hard to describe my day-to-day because it changes so rapidly. In a videography world, sometimes we're working really late nights, so we have really early mornings. Sometimes I'm sleeping till 2 in the afternoon. I have a crazy schedule if I'm not taking my son to school.
So why don't you talk to me a little bit about that? Because I feel like last time we talked, you weren't functioning at the high level that you're functioning at now. Would you say that's like true or false?
Yeah, true. Definitely true.
So now that things have changed, what are the biggest things, since you said you watched our podcast, which, by the way, if you're watching this podcast right now, definitely go check out the first podcast I did with AK because it was madness. What are the biggest things that have changed for you now since the last time you were on the pod?
The biggest things is I've matured a lot in the sense of right now my car isn't on the road because of me ignoring easy pass violations. The immature version of myself didn't care about those things. All I cared about was chasing the dream. And it got me there. But I don't know if that dumbass stuff that I was doing is required to get me there. Little things like that, things that I didn't want to do. Now the more mature version of myself, the older version of myself, forces myself to do these things even when I don't want to do it. For example, I just had to pay a parking ticket. It was a $10 parking ticket. I mean, anybody got $10 in their pocket, but I just wait until like the last minute and my dad is like, bro, what are you doing with this parking ticket, bro? It's due yesterday. I had to call them and plead to them that you're gonna pay it today. It's $10, bro. What are you doing? And I'm just defiant, man. I don't like listening to rules or people tell me what to do. I don't want to do it. So that has been changing a lot.
And what were some of like the biggest lessons you say that you learned, like just besides that, since the last time we talked? Because we're talking about like a whole year, right?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I learned in 2023 is embrace uncomfortable conversations with the people around you, whether they're on your team or not, because if something's coming to your mind that you think has to be talked about, don't let it go under the rug without you talking about it, because that problem is going to get worse.
Word. So what were some uncomfortable conversations that you've had to have within this past year?
That's a really good question, and I don't know if I could speak on that publicly, but I can try to think of another circumstance. For example, someone on my video production team, let's just say I've learned through videography work if I bring you on set, which you just were on set with me, there has to be rules and regulations set from the jump. In regards to like networking, some directors don't want people like me to network on their productions because they're afraid of them stealing their clients and things like that. So it's just like those things. Like, I can't speak on what I'm referencing in my mind because it was just like a long process with my team involved, but the moral of the story is we were dancing around the idea of having these conversations and we never did. And ultimately the problem got worse because of it.
You know what? I actually feel like it's funny. I think 2023 was a big year for me as well in video production and actually working on like different sets and on different teams and just kind of like getting the feel of it. And I feel like I could relate to a lot to what you're saying because it's hard to start doing, it's hard to get into this video stuff as a novice and not knowing how to function around people. And I wouldn't want to, maybe it is the right way to say it, and like tiptoe to feel the vibe during a set. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like sometimes like you wanna, like, don't get me wrong, I wanna have like people I know like on a set. Sometimes I wanna like have people like see what I do because it's mad cool. But sometimes it's like you're working, so, like funny enough, I was actually working on a set with just a fun team. It was like a passion project, right? And when we were eating lunch, we were all kind of talking about our craziest moments during a set, right? And someone was talking about how they got hired to camera op, right? And when they all had lunch and they were all sitting together at this table, everybody was quiet and nobody was talking. And he was talking about, he was like, it didn't really feel like good vibes, you know, that type of set. And like, you know, I wouldn't want to go out of my way to like say something, I don't know, because some sets be like that, you know? But also you have to be careful when you're on a set and you're like, sometimes people are not saying that you would ever do a job that's not serious, but you definitely like don't want to be on a, you don't want to be goofing around and showing too much personality when sometimes things need to be like, things might be on like a time crunch or something. Do you have like any comments on that?
Nah, for sure. Well, a perfect example is like a boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Like if the girlfriend feels a certain type of way about the boyfriend, or the boyfriend did something to the girlfriend that she didn't like, if she's scared of the confrontation to talk about it, or she feels like if she talks about it, he's just not going to understand, and they're not going to talk about it, the problem is just going to get worse, you know? Because if an issue happens between you two, then the issue happens again, then it happens a third time. You guys could have fixed that from the jump, but the conversation was never had because it makes both of you guys uncomfortable. So that's the thing, is like, I have people like, shout out Veg, who like, he's always told me like, yo Dev, you're fucking up. Yo Dev, you drunk as hell. Don't go on that mic, you're gonna embarrass yourself. Yo Dev, what are you doing, bro? You're acting like a fool, putting this ketchup on your head. There's cameras all around. So shout out Veg, because he's always embracing these uncomfortable conversations. But me just working with a new team this year, new people around, new circumstances, new challenges, it was just a whole new process of communication that had to be required to succeed.
And I feel like you've also been put into the position more now than ever of like having to be somewhat of a director, right? Like the boss of a set. So not only like you coming into this position, maturing more, you have to have these conversations. They're unavoidable.
Ah, that's true. They really are unavoidable. And like, even more so than a boss, but being a leader is when it's unavoidable. Because when I bring all these people on to experience opportunities, to share my opportunities, yeah, this mic just got cut off.
The mic didn't get cut off. I think the power source for the headphones just turned off.
I'm still rolling though?
Yeah, you're still rolling. You're still rolling.
All right, cool. What was the question, bro? I forgot. I'm sorry.
We were talking about how when you're a leader and you there's no way to avoid these awkward situations or these difficult conversations that you might have to have with other people.
Yeah, so like not even as a director, because as a director it's his own craft that I got to get better at, but as a leader, yeah, I mean, the people who you bring around have a reflection on you, and the people, your clients rather, the people that you bring around on your team are a reflection of you to your clients. So it's just really important that you bring around respectful people, people who have, people people who have ethics. That's not the word I was thinking of, but people who have the right ethics, people that treat people with respect, especially if you're around high-level people, whether they're celebrities, athletes, anything like that. People around you got to act right.
So what does the right etiquette mean? Like, what is acting right?
So when you work with, whether it's a celebrity, an athlete, a rapper, a musician, anybody of that stature, first of all is you guys are providing a service for them. So that isn't a time to ask for autographs. It's not a time to ask for pictures. It's not a time to be a fan. There could be a time on the set where you can give them their flowers and you could let them know that they're appreciated. But when we're working, there's none of that. It's making them feel as comfortable and welcome as possible and keeping all that away until the end. And by the end of the video shoot, you'll get the vibe off them if they just want to get the hell out of there or if they want to take a few minutes to shake people's hands and take pictures with the crew.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think as a novice, that's one of the hardest things to learn. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I definitely messed up a lot of my opportunities. I believe in the butterfly effect, that everything happens for a reason, and if these things that I'm about to bring up didn't happen, then I wouldn't be where I am today. But I remember working with Will C and Dave East, and I just took pictures of Dave East. I think I mentioned this to you on the podcast, but
yes.
I just took pictures of Dave East, and I was just fanning out after, and fanning out to the point where it's just I was sending his pictures out to everybody but my director, everyone on Dave East's team, yo, look what I do. I take pictures. I'm dope, blah, blah, blah. And that ended up ruining my opportunity for me because of the lack of communication. Also, going back to the beginning of this podcast, talking about that. So it all has to do with communication.
But why did it ruin your opportunity? For people who are listening, they especially for people who want to geek out and who might be in the position to work with other people, why would that ruin your opportunity?
So for example, when I was working with this director at the time and I messaged people on Davey's team, and then I started working with this girl, I think her name is Allie or Alley-Oop, something like that, and we were working with Brett Gray, who's a Netflix TV star on my block. The way that directors look at it is not only do you look like you're an opportunist, but if you're working with a director, or let's say we're working with Mad Minds, for example, Mad Minds doesn't want me to go work with another event company. They want me to stay loyal to them. Now, there doesn't have to be a problem with me working with other people, but it just has to be communicated. They don't want to think that I'm jumping from set to set to set, because then you just look crazy. And that's basically what I did because I didn't communicate about it.
And basically they don't, is it just because they don't want to have competition, or maybe it's they don't want you speaking industry secrets?
No, I don't think it's about industry secrets. I think it's just about building a loyal team around you.
And could you name any other examples of something that would be bad to do, or just bad business practice when working with other people as well?
That's a good question. Bad business practice. I mean, I can't think of any example at the top of my head, but I'm just gonna say good business practice is just honesty. If you break something or something goes wrong, communicate about it. I'm a director, I'm a leader who's the type of person who I don't get mad at things. I'll get mad at things if something happens and it doesn't come to my attention. Then I'll get upset because I'll be why didn't you guys bring this up to me? We could have fixed this. So I like honesty. If you're breaking something, if you break a lens or you drop a tripod or whatever the case may be, accidents happen all the time. I respect honesty from my workers. Something else that could be almost bad business practice is just no-shows, especially if you're a worker of mine.
Can't imagine, dude. A no-show, that's crazy.
Don't say that you're gonna help me out, whether it's BTS, a drone guy, a gaffer, and then just not show up, because then you make all of us look crazy. If the client don't show up, that's on them, bro. They're paying. They don't gotta show up, whatever,
Could you give me how about some do's and don'ts of communication?
This is good. Do's and don'ts. I would say be more of a listener than you are a speaker. I would also say there's a difference between hearing and listening. sometimes people just hear you, but that doesn't mean that they're listening.
So I actually really like what you just said there. Listening means like understanding, right? That actually means like not just like it's funny. I actually talk about this a lot when it comes to like relationships. Whenever I talk about relationships on the podcast, and not even just romantic relationships. It's like, you know, if somebody tells you like, you know, they're in pain, for example, you know, you just don't want that to go in one ear and out the other. It's like, yo, you want to be like, all right, so now you've understood that this person is in pain. What's going in your head should be like, okay, why and what can I do, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, something I've really developed over the 2023 year is empathy, because I used to kind of be hard on myself and others, and I used to judge others who didn't want to, let's just say, be as assertive with their dreams or whatever the case may be. But now I'm kind of more empathetic for people, instead of me assuming that they should be a certain type of way, or they should be working harder, or they should be whatever. Like, now I'm more understanding of people's situations and their own problems and their own demons that they might have in their mind.
So up until this point, you know, you saying you learning all these things, and I feel like it goes to say like you learning all these things basically came from you just doing more and more gigs, right?
Yeah, so I would say skill-wise, videography-wise, cinematography-wise, yeah, just being on the field. But communication and people skills, I learned all that working at a pizzeria. Because before I worked at a pizzeria, I was a super shy, like, reclusive kid who just kind of like stayed to myself. You know, I kind of got bullied and picked on a little bit in middle school, early high school. That's probably why I was kind of to myself. I wasn't like the biggest kid getting bullied. Like, there's kids who had it way worse than me, but they used to call me like bug-eyed or mosquito eyes or little things like that. But working at a pizzeria forces you to deal with the public. It forces you to be people pleaser, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And you just learn just better communication skills, because a lot in business, especially being a waiter, is like, bro, if you're a waiter, you're an actor, because you could have a dickhead customer. And if you're a waiter, you know how to just play the game and get the tips and move on to the next customer. And you also learn how you could change your communication based on the demographic of people that come into your business. So for example, you could have a guy in a suit and I'm going to talk a certain type of way. Then you could have a guy come in with chains and a bunch of jewelry, and now I might talk a certain type of way. You could have a young kid come in and I'm going to change how I talk and change how I approach him. So that's the number one key that working at a pizzeria has taught me.
So when you apply that to your business, for example, and being on set, like, where would you apply that? So would you only apply that to clients? And also, like, where's the line between being genuine, like your genuine self to a client, and then also like appeasing yourself to like do a good job on the like work or the set?
So I think you could still always be genuine no matter what, but it's also just about learning. Like, I was telling my son the other day, like, there's people skills, or what do they say, book smarts, and then there's street smarts. So a lot of the street smarts has to do with being able to read the room, reading people's energy. If someone comes up to you and they have bad vibes, bad intentions, I could usually tell right off the bat, and my gut is going to say, yo, get away from this guy. He's trouble. Something's not right about him. So it all kind of intertwines with that, with your intuition, with your skills on people's energy. Because you, for example, I think you could just get along with anybody because you have a very vibrant spirit. Like, the second that you go around people, we just know that you're good-hearted, you're kind, and that radiates off of you.
Thank you.
I might sound crazy, but I'm a big energy guy, so that's one of those things. And it's like a tonality too. Like, if someone's coming at you and you could already tell that they have an attitude, you might not want to approach them back with the same attitude that they're giving you, because then you're just going to create a bigger problem.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, dude. I feel, you know what's funny? I got tested this year. Well, actually last year. I went through like I don't want to say like I forget what the proper wording for it is, but a self identity crisis. I went through that a little bit last year because I was called out for being like not genuine or not like being myself towards people and almost being a people pleaser, and it actually like took me out for a couple months during the summer. Like I got into a deep depression about it because I was like I was learning all these new terms and it really threw me off. Like I don't know if you ever heard the term like code switching before.
No, I never heard of that.
But code switching in a nutshell is like basically like if you change your vernacular a little bit towards a person depending on like where they're from. Like I don't know, like let's say if you meet someone and they're more hood and you're like yo what's good my brother blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden like maybe you meet some guy who's like tall, lanky, and like in a business suit, and you're like, oh hello sir, welcome, hello, like you know, like that's code switching, right? And I feel like for the most part I'm pretty myself, like whoever I talk to, you know. I think like sometimes maybe depending on where a person's from, like I might switch it up just because if I don't know a person that well, I might not be 100% myself, but just because I'm not comfortable yet, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm not going to be loving, doesn't mean I'm not going to be kind, but also like if you get to know the deeper side of me, like you also it takes some time to get there completely, you know?
Yeah, that just cut and now it's re-going.
Yeah, I know.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
I got you, Bowie. I got you. No, we rolling this.
So am I a code switcher?
You know what? I think code switching has its when we talk about like, for example, when you talked about the pizzeria, like I think code switching sometimes is like it's not really you're doing it based on like your personality. You're doing it based on because like you need to provide a service and you're probably never going to see this person again, and you're not necessarily trying to build a relationship with like necessarily your customers there. It's a very, it has a lot of blurred lines to it, because then it was like I said like, oh, you're not trying to build a relationship, right? But all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not trying to build a relationship with your clientele, you're not trying to build a relationship with the people that you care about or the people who are giving you business. It's not necessarily that, but I think sometimes you just need to feel the vibe out for people, you know? Like for example, we did a shoot on the other day. I'm not gonna say who it was. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say on this podcast, but we did a shoot the other day together, right? I wasn't blowing up like myself in front of this guy out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Number one, like I went to go talk to him like I talk to anybody. I was just kind, polite, being like, hey dude, I'm gonna interview you, you know, just if you feel uncomfortable with anything, just let me know, blah 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 blah. But I'm not like, you know, like who I would be like in my house or like, you know, like where I'd be like with all my friends, you know. And I don't necessarily think that's code switching. I just think that's being protective of yourself and knowing where you're at. And
reading the room.
Yeah, reading the room and reading a person too, because it takes a little bit to build a relationship. And I don't necessarily think that you can judge someone based on how comfortable they're willing to open up to someone based on like where they are in that relationship, you know? Because anything you do in this life, when you talk to someone, I think it's building a relationship. We have a relationship. We have a certain relationship, you know what I mean? And, you know, obviously I'm going to act different around you than I would to maybe like, I don't know, if I met your parents for the first time, you know? I'm not going to go up to your parents and be like, hey, my name is Beto, you know, and just wild out, you know, and be like, hey, you know, this is who I am, this is what I do. And then once we get to know each other a little bit more, it's like, okay, you know?
Yeah, and even that, like me working with celebrities or whoever I'm working with, they don't get to see the goofy side of me until like we really get to know each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just kind of went on a world tour over the summer where we went overseas. And, you know, I mean, maybe a little bit prior to that, I was able to be myself. But like when you really travel with people like that, like I didn't think that these people would ever be able to see me for who I actually am, bro. Like I'm very goofy, I'm very sarcastic, I like to joke around a lot. I probably joke around a lot more than I'm serious. But you know, you realize that most of my clients and most of my friends and family, they just love me for me, bro. They love me for being goofy, they love me for being witty, they love me for being different, for reading a lot and just trying to keep my mind sharp. So that's another thing too, is people Sully told me this. I used to think that because I rapped and because I did this, because I did that certain people wouldn't want to hire me. But then Sully said, what if they do want to hire you because of that?
Yeah.
And I started looking at it differently. Like, yo, what if I could combine all these things, put them in a pot, and that's what makes it special for you to hire me?
Yeah, I agree with that completely, actually, because I think we talk a lot. I think especially in the video world, we talk a lot too about like what kind of clientele you're looking for, right? And I'm only drawing these parallels because sometimes we talk about, okay, I charge this much to do a video shoot. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll charge like $1,000 to do like a music video shoot for an artist, right? And it's like, okay, well, what if you start losing a lot of clients because they can't do $1,000? It's like, well, maybe that's not the clientele I'm looking for.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why that same mindset can't be applied to how you are as a person as well. You know, because then not only if obviously if a client is gonna be paying more for like your services and it works better for you because, you know, that's like you need the money and stuff, why wouldn't you also work better with the client that rocks with you emotionally as well? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I tell everybody on my team, bro, who you work with is more important than what you do or what you're working on. Hey, we at the market.
Hey,
is this the market that you mentioned to me on your first podcast?
Yeah, dude, I think this is, and that's why we're here.
Damn.
We're gonna film here, and I don't know how we're gonna film here exactly. We're probably gonna chill in the car and film.
That's cool with me. I left my wallet at home though, bro.
That's cool, bro. I got you, bro. Don't worry. It's on AyooChill today.
Hey.
So we're just gonna find some parking. We're gonna end this, and we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in a second, and we're gonna get some food, and we're gonna come back in the car and film.
Let's get it.
Let's go with you. I bet. We're live, by the way. Fuck it. We're always live, baby. Fucking. Just like that. Just like that. This is a power converter that I use for my lights on top.
Oh shit.
That you said.
It's a fire hazard.
You said, yeah. You said, nah. Listen. I was pulling up to a shoot, right? I was pulling up to a shoot, and all I hear is like, "Yo, look at him with those dumbass lights on his car." That's what I hear. Right? Yo, I clapped back. I was thinking about this on the way here.
Nah, yo, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
You clapped back and you were serious, bro. And I was like, damn, I hurt his feelings. And I'm actually glad you said that because I wanted to bring this up on your show, bro. It's a topic that we could debate, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about when you hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally and they take it personally?
Oh, dude, I feel like shit. But at the same time,
You didn't mean to do it.
I didn't mean to do it. If I apologize, some things in life, bro, is like you can't do anything about it. You could just apologize and you gotta let the waterfall fall, bro. You gotta let the water flow. Like for example, like let me give a perfect example that's how I'm very sensitive about. Kids, for example, right? Like let's say like you're just walking somewhere and like, you know, someone bumps into your kid on the street and your kid falls, scrapes his knee. You know what I mean? What happens if it was a complete accident? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about on purpose. Number one, you're going to feel protective because that's your kid. Number two, if it's an accident, you know, now you're like, all right, is he going to apologize or is he not going to apologize? And if the person who apologizes and they're sincere about it, if you're the person, now what can you do? All you could do is apologize profusely. And you as the parent, when you realize, you're like, oh, okay, this guy's like cool. Like, you know, it was an accident. Like, I would be like, nah, it's okay. But then if the kid's like, ah, you know, like screaming, what do you do if you're the person? That's just something you got to eat. It's like, you know, I'm sorry, like, you know, whatever. And then, like, you know, you just move on from it. But nothing's going to make the person feel better about the situation at all, you know?
True.
So, like, when it comes to the now applying that to other situations where it's like, all right, the situation with me and the lights, right? It's like, all right, if I sounded like I was gently hurt, it was like, number one, like I was, but also nothing is ever that serious to me. I'm always just I'm always just gonna make sure like what I feel is like open, right? Because I think these are the dopest lights in the world, right? That's just my personal opinion, right? And if somebody comes to me and they're like, yo, those lights are ass, I'll be like, no, they're not. I'm gonna just be vocal. I'm a very vocal person, obviously, right?
Bro, I really thought I hurt your feelings, bro. Because I was just joking. You looked at me like... And I was like, damn, bro, he's about to go home.
Oh, that's my dude. That would be terrible if I did, right? And just fucking, I'm out.
Because I think I'm very, very, very sarcastic, bro.
Yeah.
Very. And I think that comes from like me getting picked on as a kid a little bit. You realize as a kid, like, bro, like, it's not that serious. Like, let them pick on you.
Yeah.
I could be the joke too. So like now I joke around with some people, but sometimes, bro, I think I'm comfortable with people. I joke around with them and like they just take it serious, bro. And like they're just like, bro, that's not even funny, bro. Get away from me.
Yeah, so sometimes I like to play like I like to play into it even more. Like if I see that someone thinks that they actually upset me, oh dude, I'm gonna make them feel like the biggest piece of shit.
Like if you walked away that day, I'd come chasing after you. Be like, yo, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't mean it. I'm joking.
Dude, no, I love playing into that stuff because like especially like because we're boys, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, I was like, if I saw in your face, because I didn't realize in that moment, but if I saw in your face that you thought that you actually hurt me, bro, oh dude, I'd be like, yo, I don't know how I feel about being here anymore. Like, you just made me feel mad uncomfortable. Like, I feel like you're attacking me, bro. And then I would just wait. I just wait until you melt. I'm going to be like, I'm going to see how much I can milk this. Until you realize that I'm just fucking with you. Because I'll start laughing at some point. I'll break character. But I play these characters, man. I play these characters.
But yeah, bro, shout out to you for helping me out last week, bro. That was a huge help to me.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to you. To you calling me out, bro. It was really fun. I think it went well. I think it went really well. And I'm excited to see, like, what comes out of it. Because
me too.
There's nothing that fulfills me more in this life than someone being like, yo, come do what you do. And then I do what I do, and then it ends up going well. Like, I don't think, it was funny, I was actually talking to Turk about it. I was like, I don't know if there was ever a gig that I ever went to that I felt that comfortable. Like, I had no doubt in my mind, like, I could just do what I do and then
That's
just leave.
so fire. That's why I want to make sure that you felt comfortable, bro. That's why I'm just like, yeah, whatever makes you feel comfortable, let's just do it, because I trust your ability for journalism. And, bro, you just blew me away. You had, like, 12 hours to do your research, and you just asked the most insane Nardwuar questions, bro, to the fact, like, he's calling me after the fact that he's like, yo, did you tell him this stuff? And I'm like, bro, I don't know anything about you, bro. Like, I just know that you play soccer and that's it. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Oh, man. So, we left off. I don't even know where we left off, to be honest. But
yeah, I don't remember either.
it's new vibes. It's new vibes. I
New
think
year, 2024.
I think the last thing we were talking about, and if you also want to start taking out that food, bro, you're more than welcome
let's
to.
get it.
I'll
Mac
hold
and
your mic.
cheese.
I'll hold your mic for you while you get it out and shit. But I think what we were talking about was the fact that there's a lot of things that we were talking about, the do's and don'ts of being at shoots, communication. We were also talking about what were we talking about? I feel like you were about to get into a story, but either way, what I really wanted to get into at this part of the podcast was just like,
This is yours. You want it now or
Thank you.
later?
I'm a half munch on it now while I'm talking to you and stuff.
Hey, Spice Munch.
Hell yeah, I'm a munch.
I got this mac and cheese over here.
I really want to talk about, like, so you had, like, I don't know how much we could talk about this, so you just let me know.
Let's talk.
But you had something that happened to you in your life recently that was like a huge deal, and it, like, you've never traveled so much in your life. I kind of want to see how deep we could get into that. How'd you get there? How the opportunity came up? We don't have to talk any names if we can't talk any names. I will let you know that this podcast is probably going to be out either the last week of February or the second week of February.
Copy that.
If that helps with anything.
Copy that.
But yeah, dude. I'll let you kind of like take the reins.
Yeah, so I really want to go deep on this because it's really just an insane story. At the beginning of every year, I started writing down my goals. So I wrote down at the beginning of last year, my goal was to travel the world. And even prior to that, I made a vlog in, I think, October, where I'm just bullshitting on the vlog. But the first 30 seconds of the vlog, I'm just like, by this time next year, I'm going to run a video production company. We're going to do videos all over the world. And I had no idea that not only me writing my goal down on a piece of paper, but also saying it into the camera, that it would actually manifest. So prior to 2023, I was never like a big traveler. Maybe I would just go to New Jersey. Maybe I would just go to whatever, Pennsylvania for like a concert or something, but I was never a big traveler. So I wrote that down. My boy Chaz calls me up in February. He's like, bro, we need you to come film us at South by Southwest in March. So that was the first thing that I did in March. I went to South by Southwest, Austin, Texas. Amazing, phenomenal experience. Did my thing with Jocko, did my thing with Chaz. Shout out to Grown. They won. I forget what award they won at South by Southwest, but they won the jury award for best TV pilot, I think. So that was just an amazing experience for me to be a part of that crew and experience South by Southwest for the first time, bro. I really encourage a lot of artists and videographers to go out there, see what South by Southwest is about, because it's amazing. So after that, came back home. 2 weeks later, they called me up and they're just like, yo, Denver, Colorado Series Fest. They want us to come. Do you want to come film us over there? Bet. So now I put Denver on my list. That's probably That's probably April, May. Come back from that. I'm just trying to remember, make sure I don't skip anything. I come back from that. Chaz calls me up. He's like, yo, Jocko needs you in Miami for ABFF. Do you want to go film him there? And I'm like, I bet. Like, I've been to Florida, but I've never been to Miami. So now I'm in Miami. Now we're probably in May, June. Maybe a month or two goes by. And actually, let me take it back even prior to South by Southwest. In January, I started the year off in Maine filming Trippie Redd and Tidbit. And Trippie Redd was like the first artist that I filmed at like an arena. That was a really cool experience for me as a videographer. So anyway, already starting off the year with Maine, Texas, Colorado, and Miami. A month or two passes. Chaz calls me up. He's just like, yo, I need you to come film this event for me. Calls me back the same day. He said, yo, the event's rained out. I'm like, fuck, man, I really wanted to film this event. 2 days later, he says, yo, do you want to hop on a plane and come with me to California? I never been to California, bro. I've dreamed about going to California my whole entire life.
That's lit.
So he calls me. He said, bro, in 2 days, you want to go to California? I was like, yeah. He said, bro, we don't know how long we're staying, but just, what'd he say? Prepare for 3 weeks, or plan for 1 week, but prepare for 3. He said something like that.
Oof.
So I was just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just going to go out there. So, went to California. I think I was there my first time for 3 or 4 weeks. Came back home. I think they flew me back out to California, and they were like, all right, we're going to go to California. We're going to take you to Vegas after that, I think. I definitely went to Vegas, but I'm thinking if there was like pit stops in between. There wasn't. So we went to California. We went to Vegas. Boom. Check that off my checklist. I come back. They say, yo, we got another business trip for you, Dev. Do you want to come with us to North Dakota and South Dakota? I was like, I bet, let's go. Went to North and South Dakota, had an amazing experience in North Dakota, one of the best, beautiful places in this country. Went on, I'm going to say that I could say this, but I don't know if I can. Either way, we'll exit out in the edit if I can't. But I went to a like Native American sweat lodge, and like just being with all the indigenous Native American people was an insane experience, to be with spiritual people that live on the land, that all are tribal and just all care about each other, care about humanity. That was one of the most down-to-earth experiences I've ever had. Just experiencing like real indigenous culture, like that was insane. Like one of the biggest prized possessions that I have this year is one of the chiefs gave me a bison horn, because I went into Sweat Lodge 3 times, and that's like it's like a trophy for strength, because not everyone could go in the Sweat Lodge, bro. It's like 150 degrees in there. The first time I was in there, I ran the fuck out because I was like too hot, and I had no idea what the hell I'm getting myself into. So that was one of the best, most spiritual experiences I've ever had. Like, I seen my grandma in the Sweat Lodge, and they chant for that. They say like, yo, if you come in the Sweat Lodge, you know, we're going to pray for your ancestors. We're going to pray for your brother. We're going to pray. Like, the way that they guide you through this meditation and prayer is so insane, to the fact that I haven't thought about my grandma in probably a while. And the first thing was, she just came to me in that Sweat Lodge. And I just realized that everything that I believe in, all this manifestation, all the laws of the universe that I apply to my life, it's even bigger than that, bro, because I have spirits watching over me at that moment. So we could fast forward a little bit, come home, I get a call. They're just like, yo, do you have your passport? I was like, no, but I'll get one. They said, I bet, get the passport. I call up the passport agency in New York City. I'm like, yo, I need my passport in 1 week. They're like, all right, $1,500. Fuck, man, whatever.
Whoa.
Pay the $1,500. Passport comes in a week, whatever. Boom. I'm calling the place every day. Yo, the passport there? The passport there yet? Boom. So now they hit me with, they're like, yo. By the way, I didn't say where I'm going. So I'm going to China, Abu Dhabi, and Spain on this trip.
Hold up.
Yeah, you can stop me at any time, bro.
Let's pause here. We'll get there. Open up your food, bro. Start eating.
I need a fork.
Oh, snap.
I had one. I think I'm sitting on it.
The utensils. Yeah. Here's the utensils. Yeah, bro. Fork, knife.
Yeah, bro. Stop me at any time on my
This is
story.
like a podcast mukbang. This is like the first time I've you know what a mukbang is?
That does not sound good or healthy.
No. It's a cool thing. A mukbang is like a popular YouTube thing where people like it's basically a podcast while eating, low key. Maybe this is the first AyooChill mukbang, bro. What are you eating? Actually, what? Tell the people. I got you. What are you eating?
Truffle mac and cheese.
Yeah, we're truffle mac and cheese. I'm having a grilled cheese on sourdough bread. It has some looks like homemade potato chips, and I got a side of tuna salad because I wasn't sure if it was gonna fill me up, low key. At least I wanted some protein. I feel like just carbs and cheese isn't the wave all the time, but it is extremely delicious. All right, there's a couple things we need to clear up here.
Talk.
So, the person you said one of the first things they flew you out to was South by Southwest.
Yeah, correct.
Who got you that gig?
So Chaz, which is my boy, my mentor, he's the owner of Stash Barbers. He's an amazing person, amazing celebrity barber based out of Union, New Jersey.
Shout out Chaz, yo.
He introduced me to Jocko. So him and Jocko made a short film about Chaz's life called Grown, which is an amazing film. Like I said, they won awards at South by Southwest and Series Fest. So they made this short film together, and I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know if it was Jocko's idea or Chaz's idea, but one of them said to like one another, they're like, yo, we need this film. Like, this is an amazing experience. We need it filmed. And then I don't know who it was, Chaz or Jocko, but shout out to both of them. One of them were like, yo, ask Dev if he wants to come.
So they hired you to film them going to the festival to like basically like their vlogger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Make recap videos and all that. Just document the whole process.
Yeah, dude.
Because it's Jocko's first time directing a short film. It's Chaz's first time producing a film. It's all of our first time at South by Southwest. And bro, that moment was like, bro, that was such a special moment to me, bro. Because when you work with like a film crew, you guys become family so quick. Like, I was sober at the time. I went into all 2023 sober. I didn't have a smoke. I didn't have a drink. So I was in there as just like the sober, awkward kid. Everyone else is partying, celebrating. Yo, we're winning the award. Ah! I'm over there just sober with the camera. So you know what? I was just like, yo, you know what? We in fucking Texas, yo. Fuck this sober shit. Start drinking, bro. And like, there's a very special bond about drinking or smoking with somebody. And it might sound like low frequency to say that, but it's like, bro, if you share a joint with somebody or you share a drink with them, like you bond with them and you build something deeper than like me and you having a podcast, it's a bond. But if me and you were just sitting here without the mics, it might just be like weird and uncomfortable, you know? So yeah, I mean, it was an incredible experience. Like that house, Jocko rented out a whole mansion in Austin, Texas. I think it had like 10 bedrooms in there. And like, I mean, all of us were just so excited, so enthusiastic to be there. South by Southwest is an insane, amazing experience. Made a lot of friends out there, made a lot of memories, and bro, it was really special. That's all I could say is really special.
So you go out there, you film everything. After that, you said they took you to Las Vegas?
So we went South by Southwest, came home. They got the call. They said, yo, Series Fest wants to bring Grown to Denver, Colorado. Do you want to come to Denver with us? And I was like, bro, let's fucking go. So after South by Southwest, we go to Series Fest, Denver, Colorado.
Question here. So when you're doing all this, because this for me, this would be like the dream thing to do. Like I think it's any videographer's like dream thing to do. It's like, all right, you're just hiring me to film. A few questions I got here. When you're filming, number one, are you editing like the same night?
Yeah, me and Jocko edit together. Jocko was telling me a lot about filmmaking and content creation. But yeah, that was something that they knew I could do, and something they expected of me was like shooting and editing the same day.
And then what was the goal for like what they were asking of you? Like, were they asking like, okay, shoot, film, and edit, and did you have to like come out with content that same day? Was like what was the content they were expecting? Like YouTube videos? Were they expecting like reels?
Mostly just Instagram shit, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok maybe. But really, it was really just about capturing the moment. You know, like they were competing for the best TV pilot, the Juror Award. So they have a Jury Award, which South by Southwest votes in, and then they have a Crowd Award, which is like, all right, anyone can win the Crowd Award, but to win the Jury Award is like a big deal. Like these people sitting in the seats of South by Southwest are making that decision. So I really think it was just we felt so confident in the short film that I really think the most important key factor was just documenting everything.
So did you end up making any like long form content with it?
No, but I will now because
You still have the footage.
yeah, oh yeah, and like now 2024 January, I'm really appreciating filmmaking even more because I love looking back on my key moments and journeys. Like I love it, bro. Like the past 3-4 days, I just been going through all my old hard drives, just watching everything, deleting old shit that I don't need, consolidating it consolidating it onto other hard drives, and bro, I really found myself just being really passionate about just editing aside, just capturing these moments for people.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I've been on a similar wave. And it was funny enough, I was going to ask you going into like, how much like, how would you deal with the data that you'd be like capturing? You know what I mean? Because I imagine like filming everything onto your cards. Like what were you doing? Were you like uploading it to a cloud to keep it, just to keep your drives open to keep filming? Or how would you manage your files?
No, I just always buy new drives. That's how I did it last year. I would just always buy new drives. This year, going into this year, I have one 10 terabyte tower that stays on my desk. And then I just have a bunch of like little drives. And like, I don't think that me buying hard drives is ever going to end. I want to buy like a 16 terabyte drive. It's like $2,000 or some shit like that. But it's just like, bro, we spend so much money on hard drives where it's just like, at this point in our careers, we have to buy like big ass quantities of hard drive. I mean, not quantity, is that the word? We have to buy a big hard drive space. Otherwise, we're just throwing money away at that point.
Yeah, dude. I'm actually like looking to invest into my first tower. I'm not excited for it.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Not excited for it.
But I do use Dropbox too for backing everything up.
Yeah, that's kind of like my move right now too. So how does it work? I know Chaz is your boy, but I'm assuming you're getting like paid in all this.
Yeah, correct.
Word. So like, did you negotiate a pay? And we don't have to talk about the amount if you're not comfortable with it.
Now we could talk.
But like, how did you negotiate a pay for like the first gig, and did that negotiation change as you were moving forward with it?
So me and Chaz's relationship, I met Chaz through Instagram. I met him at a time where I really didn't have anything, or I lost a lot of things in my life. You know, COVID just happened. I was working with World Star Hip Hop. I lost that. I built my relationship with Chaz by just helping out and offering my services to him for free. So whether it's for his personal family, his barbershop, for himself, I just wanted to be there for him. And he started to take wind on that because he's very similar in that way. On his come up, he would do the same thing with barbering, like, yo, let me cut this manager's hair because the manager will eventually introduce me to the artist, so on and so forth. So when it came to pay, me and Chaz think alike in the sense of we're very, we have end goals in our vision. We don't just think about money right there because money could blur the vision and blur the situation. So I was just really happy and grateful to be a part of it. They were going to pay for my food. They were going to pay for my travel. They were going to pay for all that. So me getting paid is just extra. This is a labor of love to me. So pay wasn't an issue, but then working with Jocko's very generous and an amazing person. So he just always made sure I was compensated, and I never had to worry about it with him because Jocko is very outgoing. So even though I barely knew him at that time, I worked with him 1 or 2 times prior to that, but I just always knew that, like, I just got the vibe that, like, Jocko's generous. He's not going to screw me over. So I don't think we discussed money. The money came when I was there. Jocko paid me. He took care of me, but money was never an issue for me. It was just a labor of love, and I wanted to be there.
Yeah, because, you know, I actually find it very difficult to talk about pricing to people Because, you know, even though, like, earlier in the podcast we were talking about where, like, you know, you talk certain money, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this video shoot for, like, $1,000 and stuff. And if you're not the type of client who's willing to pay that, you know, maybe you're not the type of client I want to work with. And even though sometimes that seems heartless, sometimes that's what you have to do as a person who runs your business and everything. I think, like, I did my first gig recently where I priced somebody out and I totally underballed the shit out of it on accident.
Oh yeah.
Because it was like my first time doing like a solo gig and like, you know, doing a shoot like that and something where it all fell within my capabilities of doing it. And it was like corporate work. It wasn't anything like serious or like had to do super artsy or fartsy creative. But I think it hurt less to me because I'm single, I'm freelance, and this was like, you know, I'm just doing this half for fun, and obviously I need to make a living off of it. But I find it like, it's like, damn, dude, like, how do you deal with like that? Do you just see it as like the abundance thing? Do you only see it as like, look, he's gonna take care of me, I just have to have faith? Because you also have a kid, you know. And I think that's the thing that is the point I'm trying to make. I'm like, do you ever fight for more money, or do you ever have to negotiate for stuff, or do you focus more on the relationship and just having trust in the other person to pay you what you think is just?
Well, when I'm working with Chaz specifically and he puts me on to people, I kind of let him guide me. So if he tells me, he's like, yo, you could charge them and like charge them, I'll take his word. But if he tells me like, bro, this is a really good opportunity for you, I'm looking out. If you work with this guy, you build a relationship, you're going to have a bright future, I'll take his word, bro. I'll never mention money at all. So when it comes to working without Chaz, though, like I've learned to separate my feelings from the business. Because I'm a very nice guy and I like to help people. And I still do help people all the time. But, like, I price on the jobs that I'm not super passionate about, you know? And that's not to say I'm not passionate about videography. I love what I do. I love cinematography. I love video editing. But some things just aren't in my lane, for example, that, you know, I need the money because now I'm going to hire a team or I'm going to hire an editor, which is going to take X amount of workload off my plate. So I do have standards now for like music videos, hourly rates, hourly edits, which I send to everybody. It's just pretty standard, you know. I charge $100 an hour for me as a videographer. I do a 2-hour minimum right now. It might change to a 4-hour minimum. And then I just charge $100 an hour for video editing. And I just been able to like simplify my life like that just by doing so. It's just easy to send people. I charge them for revisions. I charge them if they're late. And it's just about being, being assertive about those rules, because people will try to push your boundaries all the time. Like, oh, I need cheaper, I need this, I need that. And you really just got to stand your ground. Like, yo, this is business, bro. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. This is what I could do for you.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, I guess what I'm really trying to get out of you right now is like, sometimes the trust and the trust you build in the relationship you have with another person kind of has to take precedent, right?
Yeah.
Especially like if it's bringing you to stuff that you've never done before. Would you say that, like, especially like working with Chaz, like you just trust him to take care of you?
Oh yeah. I mean, it took a while for me and Chaz to develop the relationship that we have. I mean, he went with me basically everywhere I traveled this year, so we really got to grow together and bond. But when it comes to him, like, he's a very good-hearted, kind-spirited person. I know that he doesn't have any like bad bones in his body, so I know that the people that's around him aren't gonna be like malicious or anything. So and I trust him.
What are some things that he's done or that you've seen in general with the relationships that you build with people that make you realize that you can trust them?
He's honest. He's there for me. He calls, like, me and him talk on the phone like every day, bro. And like, the first time I ever met him, we went to the CT Barber Expo back in 2022, I think, or 2021. 2021, I think. And we just sat in the car with each other for like 3.5, 4 hours. We got stuck in traffic and all that. But like, now to this day, bro, and we've been like this for maybe like 1.5 years now, 2 years. He'll just call me and we'll just talk on the phone for like 1.5 hours. And, you know, I'll have peers or people that I work with that don't reach out and do that. They don't check on my kids. They don't give me advice. They don't tell me what it's like to balance the grind with raising a kid. So when people go above and beyond to show you that they're there for you and they care, I think that's when they really show that you could trust them.
Word. I think that's really well said.
Yeah.
I think it's really well said because I think that sometimes, like for me, like I have a really big open heart, and I know that you have a really big open heart as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like sometimes having an open heart doesn't. Having an open heart sometimes opens yourself up to also get taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really hard to differentiate, you know, what a good opportunity is versus getting taken advantage of because they're giving you a good opportunity. So have you been like through something like that before, where like you did something because of an opportunity, but really you got taken advantage of at the end of the day?
Yeah, well, you have to in order to learn, because Bob Proctor says like our five senses aren't hear, smell, see, taste, touch. It's none of that. Our real five senses is like imagination, intuition, the will, memory, and perspective or perception. And I think there's one more. But like we're born with intuition. We're just not taught how to use it. So when it comes to getting fucked over, like you have to get fucked over in order for your gut to be able to tell you like, yo, this guy's shady, you know? Like we were talking about in the beginning of this podcast, if I meet somebody, I could almost know right away if you're a good or bad person. And that's not to say I'm judging you, but my intuition is telling me that there's something off about this person or
Word.
something right about this person.
Do me a favor. Can you take the tuna? I don't know if that was covering your face the whole time, low key.
It's all good, but
It wasn't.
that's my fault anyway, if it was.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh shit, bro. But you know what's funny? The only reason I thought about it was like, I kind of want to start smacking that tuna.
Yeah, bro, eat that. Smack that tuna.
Man, bro.
This
Yeah,
mac
dude.
and cheese is fire.
That's incredible. Yeah, dude. I hope it is. This the place. By the way, shout out. You guys don't sponsor me or anything, but I love you guys so much. Even though you guys probably don't even know who the hell I am. 9W Market, aka The Market, on 9W out here in I was gonna say Newark. Oh my God, out here in New York. And what is this? What it starts with a P, right?
Technically Piermont, yeah, but on the border of West Nyack and Piermont.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, shout out y'all. Y'all have an incredible place, incredible food, incredible atmosphere. Y'all really got it going on. But yeah, dude, that's actually incredible. I think that's very valuable information for a lot of these young and upcoming people who are coming up and they don't know, because I've definitely been taken advantage of before of my kindness. And I think you talk a lot about like abundance and giving and doing it with love, and it's easy to do that. Well, slash that. It's not always easy to do that. And especially it's not always easy to give, I think, sometimes to the right people, and learning and picking up on signs of when people will be taking advantage of you is really big.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, I mean, I've definitely had people see the podcast, people see what I do at Mad Minds, and at this point right now, like, I don't charge people for being at shows. I eventually would, but especially when I see like younger people trying to put on shows in Jersey and they barely have the money to put up the show themselves, I'm like, hey dude, I'll come and help you out. But then there's certain times where I see people, I'm like, oh, like they're not organized, oh, they're not this, they're not that, and they're really not trying to put on a show. They're trying to gain clout from this, they're trying to gain that. And like I feel like old me would have been like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna go anyway and not say no. But yeah, learning that stuff is tough, man. I think the stuff that you said about like how Chaz treats you and how it is, you know, if you can't hang out with the person for a long time and they're just looking at you for what you can give them rather than the person who you are, I think that's a big telltale sign if you could even say this person's a friend, you know? Because
Also, real quick, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The most important aspect is your friends putting you in position to win and them wanting to see you win, not
Yes.
them putting you in position to win and then they get jealous.
yes,
Those are some fuckheads you got around you.
Yes.
We got to cut them off immediately.
absolutely.
That's another thing too, is he's always put me in position to win. Even when he barely knows me, well, I can't speak today at all. I sound like a retard. I don't know if it's cold. I don't know if it's the mac and cheese. I don't know. I cannot speak. He's going to have to do a
chilling,
lot of
bro.
editing with my English vocabulary today.
You're chilling, dude. You're chilling.
But yeah, there's people around, like not in my friend group, but I've seen people that like, they think that they think that success is like a stingy thing and there's not enough to go around the world. It's like, bro, I put all of my people in position to win, bro. And if you fuck up the opportunity, I mean, yeah, you're making me look bad, but you're just fucking it up for yourself, bro. I'll get more opportunities for myself. So you got to make sure that your friend group actually wants to see you win.
Yeah, dude. And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's really tough to differentiate between those friends. I feel like during the years, especially when I left high school, man, like talkative like this, I've always been like that. And I used to think that, you know, I decided, like, especially for 2024, I'm going to do nothing but show love this year, you know? Even if I don't, and just because I'm going to show love doesn't necessarily mean I have to receive everyone that I give love to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember that I've always been the type to give love and talk to everybody. And I remember in high school, I had a group of friends and they were like 25 plus, you know what I mean? And I remember after high school, like when all of them started switching up, I was like, and I didn't want to let go of anybody, man, because I was like, these are my friends. But as time went on and time went on and time went on, I realized I was like, yo, this person doesn't want to see me succeed. They're getting jealous of me doing anything. You know, I have friends who, like, you know, I stepped into their field all of a sudden of doing more video work, and then they don't want to see me do that. They don't want.
Weird.
And I'm just like, dude, I've always had your back. Like, well, what's going on here? And then you have to have those difficult conversations. And I think also, like, coming back to, like, being a leader, being, like, you know, a person, especially, like, if you're gonna do this and run your own business, bro, you have no choice but to become a leader. Not only a leader for others, but a leader for yourself. You know, because you have to get better at what you do, and it's just very difficult. It's hard to let go of those people, but I think you're in a really good spot right now, because now you're in the place where you have good people around you. Now you have somebody who has helped you succeed a lot, and not only that, has taught you what it means to work with somebody who's a kind and generous person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, like, build with you, you know? I think those types of relationships are priceless, man. So I really commend you on that, dude.
Oh, thank you. And it's like, bro, the stars align with me and Chaz's relationship. I mean, it might sound like corny saying that, but it's like, and I got to stop saying like on every podcast, because like on the last podcast, I was like the whole fucking time. But like, bro, we're just really good best friends, bro. And so many coincidental things happened. When I was in California this year, somebody told me when we were sitting down, he said, there's no coincidence. I forget exactly. I'm going to paraphrase. There's no coincidences in life, just miracles, something like that. And it's, bro, I messaged Chaz on Instagram in 2020 on August 4th. On August 7th, 2021, he responded to that DM a year later. How the hell did that happen? Imagine I didn't send that DM. I would not be sitting in your car right now telling you about my journeys and my story.
That actually is pretty freaking wild. He didn't respond until like a year later?
A year later. I can show you the DM. I'll screenshot it. You can put it in this thing. I sent him a DM in August 4th, and then August 7th, a year later, he responded back to me. He said, yo, let's work. That's insane, right?
That is pretty insane, dude. Because that's crazy, because I actually get embarrassed sometimes for cold calling. And sometimes I work with different people in the industry, and they're like, cold calling's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't even like a cold call. Like, I seen his Instagram and I seen who he was working with. And at the time, I still am a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan. But he was MGK's barber, and he was MGK's barber since the jump, like 2011. And it's crazy because we've been in a lot of the same places over the years, because I was always an MGK fan. So, like, he was at the concert, I was at the concert. We just never connected. But I really wanted to connect with him, because at the time, like, my dream was just to work with MGK, whether I'm going to go on tour with him, whether I'm going to film him, whether I'm going to be a PA for something that he's working on. That's why I wanted to reach out to him. But when I reached out to him, like I said, I wasn't asking him for anything. A lot of rappers are in his DM, like, bro, sign me, yo, introduce me to this guy. I was literally like, bro, I want to help you out with whatever it is, for your kids, for your barbershop, for you personally. Don't worry about it. I just want to learn from you. That's the only exchange I want, is knowledge from you. You seem like you're doing great. You're killing it in life. I need to know what it takes to be as great as this. Teach me, bro, and I'll do whatever you want. That was kind of how the whole conversation went.
That's incredible, dude. That's okay. And did you do this like a lot? Like just like DM people that you would want to work with, or?
So I did it a year prior with World Star, which we got into in the last podcast. And then that didn't work out. I got fired from World Star Hip Hop, even though I worked there for about a year. But that just showed me the power of an Instagram DM. Like, bro, I could message J. Cole on Instagram right now, and he might just be going through a million messages, and he might just see mine and just be like, yo, let me give this kid a shot, you know? So I still, to this day, like, I actually just got a message right now from, like, this boxing club who's doing a fundraiser this week. And I just DM'd them last night. And I'm just like, bro, you guys are doing a fundraiser this week. I want to donate my time to the fundraiser. Let's work. And they're like, all right, let's get on a call later. So I still do it to this day because I see the importance in social media. It's not just me, like, looking at ass or looking at girls on Instagram, which is cool. I mean, it's a distraction for us. But I really try to use Instagram as a tool as much as possible. Like, even prior to that, when I was on Facebook back in the day and I was just an artist, I would go to all the venues that were around, whether they were in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city, and I would, notification? Well, what's the word when, like, you go to a page and, like, you get notified if they, like, make a post?
Oh, you would
Alert?
Yeah. Put on a.
So I would go to all the venues and I would put alerts on all the Facebook pages. This is in like 2016, and the second that they would post like a new event, like Chris Webby performing live at whatever Toad's place, I would get a notification for it on Facebook. I would message the booker, the owner, anybody at the venue immediately, and just be like, "Yo, I'm Devin. I could sell X amount of tickets. Let's work." And that's how that started. So the DMs really been starting from Facebook in like 2015, 16, and it was just always how I connected with people that I couldn't have access to.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible, and I think that the people learning that and not getting shy, bro, just to do it. I think this has been a story we've heard time and time again. Of like, just shoot your shot, because who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, you never know what could come out of it, and look how it came out for you. So let's go past. All right, so we talked about how you priced it out, you were feeling it out, you trust them, you worked a good relationship with these two, Chaz, and what was the name of the other guy who was editing with you? Jocko. You guys go from Austin, you said you went to even California. So
yeah, Denver, Colorado, Miami, and then California. So
talk to me a little bit more about going to this I'm not sure if we could talk about this. Can we talk about the Native American trip a little bit? Or is that something that you still like are like, I don't know.
I'm just going to say that we can, even though I don't know if I can.
What did you say? What do we get into this and why we can't talk about stuff? And then we'll kind of move on from that because we did talk about it a little bit. We'll save it for another podcast when you know for sure if you could talk about it. But let's talk about...
I mean, I could dive into it a little bit. We could talk about it a little bit.
We could talk about it a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So let's talk about it a little bit, and then we'll go into the other topic, and then we'll move on into another part, and then we'll call it from there and go into our last shot. Does that sound like a plan?
Let's go.
All right, bet. So talk to me a little bit about you at the Native American place. Do you know what tribe they represented?
I don't remember, no. I don't recall. But I went there to film content on a business trip, and I knew nothing about North or South Dakota. I didn't even know that was a place. I mean, respectfully, like, who's like, oh, I want to go to North Dakota, you know? So
I think that's why they have Mount Rushmore, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Did you see Mount Rushmore when you were out there?
I didn't, no, okay. Definitely not. But yeah, got a call. They said, yo, could you come film us some content in North and South Dakota? And I was like...
Who's us? Are you allowed to talk about that?
It was just me and Chaz, but I can't really say who we're filming.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to keep that private.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, me and Chaz going out to North and South Dakota. And, yeah, we got to experience what it was like to... I don't want to be disrespectful in any way, so I know that they're indigenous people, but I don't know if I should refer to them as Native American. I don't think they like being referred to as Indian people.
No, for sure not.
But definitely, like, just people that are native to this land, we could say. They still live the same as they did, and they're governed by their own people. I think that's what's so amazing about that experience, is that, like, if we do a crime over here and then you go to their territory, this police isn't allowed to go into their land and arrest you. Like, they are really governed by their own rules and laws, which is just really amazing. So as part of me creating content, we got to experience what it was like to live with them. So we would wake up with them. We would do the sweat lodges, which is basically you go into like a little tiki hut. All the men, they heat up stones. They take shovels. They bring it into the sweat lodge. Like, bro, they're hot stones. And then all the women, they walk around the circle. They all go in first. Then the men go in. And then the guy who's like doing the singing or the prayer, he walks in. And they close it up. So it's pitch black in there. And it just gets hot. And the guy will just guide you through a prayer. So like, he'll be talking about, I don't know where this stuff comes from. I don't know if they go in there with like a narrative or like a motive on what to talk about. But like, they'll just talk about, or he'll tell his own story. Yo, this happened to me and it hurt me a lot. But I want to let you know that everyone in here in this sweat lodge, you know, we're all relating to that. We all been through something. I want you guys to close your eyes and I want you guys to go to a place that was one of the darkest, most hurtful places in you. And I want you to just send love to that place. Whoever you were in that time, send love. Or they would talk about like, close your eyes and we just want you to see your ancestors. Like, who do you see? Who do you hear? I can't really explain it to you, that experience, but the guy guides you through a really deep meditation and prayer. And I became a very spiritual person over the years, but that was like insane. Like I remember just getting out the sweat lodge and just like laying on the grass. And, you know, we're not connected to the earth like we should be. You know, we walk around barefoot over there. I'm laying on the grass. There could be rattlesnakes around me. I don't give a shit. I'm so at peace. I'm just laying there like, bro, this is insane. And yeah, just, you know, quadding over there. They like go hunting. They do all this shit that like we don't do. And everyone has to do their research on that. Like I encourage everyone to try to figure out to do something like that, or just have an experience like that. Like have an experience where you go and you just connect with the earth. You're walking around barefoot. You're chilling with people. Like those people over there, something that I tell my son now too is when I see my son with his friends or I see my friends, I tell my friends now, I'm like, yo, you see him, and him? All right, well, these aren't your friends anymore. This is your family and this is your tribe. And you're going to look after him. He's going to look after you. She's going to look after him. And that's the way that this friend group is going to move from now on. So that's what I really learned from them, is to put different responsibilities on your friends other than them just showing up for you. Like, bro, you have to actually watch out for these people and take care of them.
That seems like such a... I don't know if I could do the sweat lodge thing.
It's not for everybody. Trust me. It's intense.
Did it hurt? Like,
it does hurt,
that
yeah.
air?
It does hurt, yeah. So,
because I remember going to like my local like YMCA and going into the sauna rooms, because it's like a sauna room, I imagine, right? It's like a little sauna.
Yeah. So let me run it back real quick.
Yeah, paint the picture for me.
So you go in there, homie starts singing the prayer.
How many people are in this place?
Bro, it depends. There could be 100, and we're crammed together, or there could be like 50, and we're kind of spaced out, but. He goes in there and he'll like say his prayer and it's just pitch black. And then all of a sudden they'll just start singing, bum, 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 bum. And they just start singing their songs and it's just getting hot. And then all of a sudden you hear, tss, and that's when the guy takes the water and he throws it on the red hot stones. When he throws it on the red hot stones, you just see the smoke and you feel it burning your face. It's 175 degrees in there, 150 degrees in there. The steam is burning your face. Tss. And each round, it just keeps getting more intense. So we'll do like a 5-minute round, spray the water, it's done, bro. We're breathing in sage to our nose, or we have like a shirt that's covering our face so we can breathe. And he does that. He'll say another prayer, say another intention, and then he'll do it again. But now we'll hit the stones 3 times. Tss, tss, tss. And bro, every time you hear that, tss, you just know, bro, the heat is fucking coming, bro. That shit is coming.
Yo, that's so funny, bro, because I was about to say.
But it's so painful and torturous that there's something like peaceful about it, because that's the only thing you can focus on. Like, you can't focus on your outside worries when you're in there, because you're just worrying about surviving. Am I gonna live, bro? I'm like a popcorn like cooking in like a pan, bro. That's how I feel. It's hot as shit in there. But yeah, afterwards, and then after that, when you get out and you just feel the wind, bro, it's just like, it's insane, bro. It's insanity.
So, a filmmaker question / camera person question. Did you have to do this?
No, so you don't film on those lands. Those are all sacred lands. So no phones are allowed, no video cameras.
So
that was just an extracurricular activity on my journey.
Word. And whose idea was it to do this?
Just the crew.
Just the crew?
Yeah.
And like, could you have said no to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Were there people who didn't go inside?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were just like, let's do it.
Yeah, I have a problem saying no, so I just say yes all the time.
That's lit. No, because I was about to say, kind of a general question. How much free time, extracurricular time did you have when you did all this traveling? Because sometimes you don't get a lot of free time. Like I remember when I did a shoot, when I did like my first big shoot last year, the only free time we had is when we got back to like the hotel. And like, it would be your decision to leave that night if you wanted to. But number one, like I'd probably have to be up the next morning at like 6 a.m. So if I'm getting at the hotel at 11, I'm sleeping, you know? So how much extracurricular time did you get?
So it really just depends. I mean, if we're talking about my trip overseas, which I know we'll talk about soon, I just kind of forced myself to go outside because I'm just like, when am I going to be overseas ever again?
Of course.
But like, for example, when I'm in California, if I ask like Chaz or I ask whoever, I'm just like, what are the deliverables? Do I got to edit anything? And they say no. I'm just like, bro, I'm going outside. But
That's
like a lot of
fine.
the times when you travel, you don't get that time to like, yeah, you see the world, but you don't see the world when you're working and traveling. You're just there. You're inside a camera. So it's a balance.
Word, dude.
Definitely a balance.
So let's move on from the Native American lands. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Moving on.
Moving on. Talk to me about how traveling around the world. I know you can't talk about who it was, but talk to me about how that opportunity came and landed in your hand, and when you knew that you were about to go around the world.
Yeah, so that's another thing here. Shout out to my brother Chaz. He just always putting me in position, and I don't know if we're gonna get to it, because I think I cut you off before when you asked me the last question. But when you're in this business and you're a videographer, you're a photographer, you're a hairstylist, if you're in the entertainment industry, period, you're going to have to sign documents which you agree to where you can't speak on what you're working on, which is why I'm dancing around certain questions or topics or who I'm working with, just because we got to keep that under wraps. But before I get into what you just said, you know, it's very important for you to understand if you're an upcoming content creator, videographer, photographer, whatever trade you may be, whatever you're working on, even if you're a chef, you could be a personal chef for these people. You have to respect their privacy. They're just regular human beings, just like anybody else. And they may ask you to sign some documents where you say, yo, you can't say shit about this person. You can't even say what you did. So it's very important for the up-and-comers to realize that and acknowledge that and respect that part of the business, because we're in a clout-chasing era where, you know, it actually taught me so much about success, because I could post all this shit on Instagram. Yo, look, I'm working with Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. I could put it on Instagram, but now guess what? People on Instagram are praying for your downfall. What this whole process taught me is keeping shit under wraps is the coolest thing ever, bro. I don't need to be validated by Instagram or Meta or X for you guys to tell me that I'm cool or I'm valid or I'm a great videographer. I can tell myself that. So that's my favorite part about this whole entire process, is me realizing that you have to take your ego away from it. And these people on social media, yeah, they might be congratulating us, liking our stuff, but it doesn't mean shit at the end of the day, yo. I have to validate myself. I do what I do for my friends and my family. And if they validate me and they think I'm doing a great job and they want to congratulate me, amazing. That's what I'm doing it for. But I'm not doing it for these people on Instagram.
Word, yo.
I know I kind of
No, you did.
bounced around, but I know we wanted to bring that up, though.
You did a good job on taking care of, like, you know, talking about like the NDA stuff and why it is. And I think that if you really want to look up more information on like what an NDA is and what it means, go look it up yourself. Honestly, I think you should know. If you're watching this for fun, like, go look it up just for fun. But if you're watching this as a want to be a videographer, filmographer, whatever, ographer, if you want to work in this industry, if you want to work in this industry, definitely look up what that means and listen back to what he just said, because that's kind of the whole reason why it's important to the people who you're filming, no matter their status of clout, whatever, their celebrity status. At the end of the day, these are people. We're all people. We're all human, regardless, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I know that's one of the first things I learned as a sound engineer, because there's so a whole bunch of stories of famous people just walking in and people working with. I have friends who have worked with very famous people as well, but you got to keep it chill and you got to remember who you are at the end of the day and what you do it for.
Sure.
For sure.
And just etiquette is very important. Etiquette is super important no matter who you are and who you're working with. Always ask, could I have a picture? Could I post this? Could I this? Could I that? Because you don't want to assume. But anyway, getting back to like the overseas thing, like, yeah.
When did you find out? How did it come about from the beginning?
So I mentioned to you earlier that I didn't even have a goddamn passport. They gave me like a 2-week notice. Do you have a passport? And I was just like, yeah. I didn't have no passport. So I knew that I could get a passport like emergency. Shout out Emergency Expedited Passport Services in New York, because you guys came in motherfucking clutch. I thought you guys were going to fuck me over, but came in clutch with the passport and the visa.
And the visa.
And the visa, yeah.
Yeah, dude, because for a G&a-half, Jesus Christ, they better they better get it. They better get it.
Yeah, so it was another situation. Different client, Chaz puts me on. He's just like, bro, one of my clients wants to take you overseas. Are you willing to go on this trip? I say, yeah, bet, I will. They asked me, you got a passport? I just say, yeah, even though I'm lying, I'm going to get the passport. Don't worry about it. Hit up the passport agency, got all my documents, boom, boom, boom. They say, yo, you're going to China, Abu Dhabi, and Spain. Here are the dates, whatever. You need a visa to go to China, though. Bro, you got to be fucking kidding me. How the fuck do I get a visa now? Call the Emergency Expedite Passport. Yo, could you get me a visa? They say, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Boom, another $500,000 in the drain, whatever. Get the visa. At that point in my life, I was doing whatever it takes. So I got to get on this plane, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So even before this, though, I'd speak a lot about, whether it's on the Mad Minds podcast or on my last podcast, a lot of visualization. I visualized a lot this year where I just close my eyes and I meditate. And I meditate things like this. I meditate experiences. I meditate being around rich, wealthy people. I meditate being in the desert in Abu Dhabi. And that's what actually brought me there. So this whole year was a lot of visualization, a lot of meditation, a lot of writing down what I want out of my life, and it actually came true. But yeah, so fast forward to the whole passport thing, get my passport, whatever, pack my bags. I fly on a PJ from California to China. I mean, that's a flex for me, even though now I know that these things are very fleeting and a private jet doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to my ego. It doesn't mean, like, it doesn't make me any more cool or any better than any human being. It's just something that I could check off the bucket list. But yeah, we went on a PJ from California to China, which was insane. Like, yeah, it's a flex. I'm a flex right now. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped at Alaska to get gas. And yeah, it was like a 15, 16-hour flight. And bro, we just landed in China and bro, it was just a whole new world out there, bro. It was insane. Yo, all the toilets got bidets in them. The toilet seats open up the second you walk in the room. China is just different. China is insane. I'm so grateful and lucky that I went to China, because so many people in the media, they talk bad about China, or they don't want to go to China because they're scared of whatever, communism or this or that. You go there and you realize, bro, Chinese people are amazing, loving, friendly, empathetic, caring people. They're very giving people. Learning about their culture and their history was amazing. So anyway, fast forward, when we get to Abu Dhabi is kind of the place that I like visualized in all of my visualizations. I always visualized just like being there, even though I didn't even know what Abu Dhabi was before I went there, but I would just visualize like these type of events, bro, like riding on a camel or just like being around, being in the St. Regis. And it's just, I get speechless and emotional just thinking about it, because a lot of this is a dream come true for me, but I don't even know what to say, bro. It was just so insane. Abu Dhabi was insane. Abu Dhabi is the most beautiful spiritual place on the earth. I recommend anybody and everybody go there. Like, just riding on camels, man. Like, when I was riding on that camel, I looked at my safari partner and I was like, bro, we fucking made it.
So we're actually coming pretty close to the end of this section of the podcast. And I actually think I'm gonna have to have you on another podcast, Loki, to talk. We
Yeah,
need
we
a
got
podcast
two-
just to talk about the adventures out there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like this has been a podcast that's been very educational, very eye-opening, just kind of like an update with you. But there's 2 more things I want you to talk about before
yeah.
we cut this part of the podcast.
Let's talk.
I need you to talk to me. Actually, let me see. Hold up. I don't think you know what I'm pulling up right now.
Nah, I definitely don't.
All right, let's see here.
I be rambling on podcasts.
No, dude, I love it, bro. Honestly, everything you've said so far is very, very, very dope and useful to a lot of people. Let's see.
Use
here.
this information, you fuckheads. I'm making mistakes so you don't have to.
Hold up. Maybe it's down here. If you see the EOG, you said take it, element of P. P will be after P. Oh, it's not there. Okay, give me 1 second.
After P. I just got to say, too, while you're looking for whatever you're looking for, this has been the most unique podcast experience I've ever had.
I appreciate it, dude.
This is insane.
I love it. Thank you. Can you read what it says right here?
AK40Dev.
Mm-hmm. I'll open that up. All right. We were just done doing our gig at FOMO together.
Uh-huh.
And we're in the back of FOMO. And we're all there, Devil's lettucing it up, right?
Yes, sir.
And Dev says something that I had to write down because sometimes people say stuff and it's just freaking hilarious, right? So he said, riding a camel is a life-changing experience. It's the closest thing to a dinosaur. It's because their knees bend backwards.
Yeah, they bend in.
Can you tell me about the camel ride? And number 2, why they call you Desert Dev now?
Man, so my name started as Dakota Dev. Obviously, we got into Dakota. But, you know, I was in Dakota riding a quad. I'm telling the squad. I'm rhyming, bro. It's fire.
He's rapping.
I'm telling the squad, like, bro, I'm a fucking quad professional. Don't worry about me. 5 minutes later, everyone's looking, yo, where's Dev? Bro, I fucking crashed my quad. I never even been on a quad before. It's my first time. I just crashed.
Of course it's bad, bro.
So they all just come talking shit, and they're just like, yo, Dakota Dev. So that's how that came about.
Uh-huh.
I started off as Devi Dev before that, but then Dakota Dev crashed the quad. So now I'm in the desert, and I'm riding the camels. And I forget who gave me the nickname, but I think just because I already had Dakota Dev, like somebody was just like, yo, you in the safari, you Desert Dev now. And bro, I was just the king of the motherfucking desert out there, bro. I was riding the camels, I was petting the camels, I was feeding them water. It was insane. But yeah, camels, bro. I've never seen no specimen that like bends their knees in like the opposite way. Like you see my knee, I know you can't see my knee, but my knee like bends out this way.
Uh-huh.
But the camel's knee like bends in, which is insane because when you're getting on and off, it's just like, and yeah, it's just insane, bro.
Word, dude.
What type of fucking mechanism is that? Like that has to be the only creature on the earth that has an inverted elbow.
Bro, I could just do a podcast about you talking about camels, bro.
Yeah, we can do that too.
We have to do that. All right, Dev. Well, we're nearing this end of the part of the podcast. We're not going to sign out just yet. I have one more surprise for you where we'll go, and then we'll close it out there. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan with the man.
All right, bet, bro. I'll see you there.
Let's get it. Peace.
Talking.
Talking. Mic 1 2. Mic 1 2.
Yeah, you're Gucci, bro.
We Gucci like Poochie.
I just need you to tell me real quick, what in the world inspires you to do what you do?
Do you want like the inception of my inspiration or like what inspires me today?
Just the first thing that comes into your mind when I ask you that question.
First thing that comes to my mind when I think about what inspires me is Ryan Yex. And I don't know if we talked about Ryan Yex on the first podcast, but Ryan Yex is a kid who dealt with cerebral palsy and he walked the first time because of Machine Gun Kelly's music. So I started to get into music when I seen the video of him on YouTube of him walking for the first time and thanking Machine Gun Kelly for his music, and that's why I decided to do what I wanted to do with my life because I realized the power of music and I wanted to help people who felt helpless at that time.
What advice do you have for people who have heard you up until this point and are trying to do what you do?
I was gonna joke and say something sarcastic, but I'm gonna just keep it real. The advice is don't seek validation from anybody but yourself. If you think that you could achieve something or do something extraordinary, you should go for it because we underestimate the power of our mind, we underestimate the power of humans, and just don't look for anyone else's approval because you're always gonna be let down at the end of the day. You gotta do it for yourself.
What's the last message you have for the people, man?
Last message? Damn, I don't want to be cliche and just be like, follow your dreams. My son is 5 now, and I really enjoy being a parent more than anything. Like, we've talked a lot about my journey. I went overseas, but we didn't get to touch on a moment where I was crying in Abu Dhabi, and I'm in the most beautiful hotel probably in the world, the St. Regis Abu Dhabi, most beautiful ocean, most beautiful people and spirits. But I was crying inside the hotel room one day. And there's a Mac Miller song where he says, hard to complain in this 5-star hotel, oh well. And I realized how he felt at that time because I had everything that I wanted in that time, but I was missing one thing, and that was my family. So I realized now if I'm gonna tell one people is have a family, do it for them, and when you have kids, you be present through every single part of the process because now that my son's 5, it's like the best age where we could play, I could teach him, we communicate. It's my favorite thing in the world and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So that's what I would say is have a family, cherish those moments, and raise your kids with a lot of love and a lot of great values.
AK40DEVIN.
Bro, you can't end it here, bro. This is like the peak. Like, this is the most, like, this is so deep right here, bro. I don't know how you thought of this shit, but like this right here, like, this was the most tapped in I've been this whole conversation. Like,
Desert Death.
I know that we're gonna call it now, but like, this is very deep and amazing, bro. And I think that you should do a whole podcast like this.
Right.
Because me just staring into this, bro, just got a different side of me that you haven't got from me all day. I know we all got time, we all got shit to do, so we're gonna end it, but I'm just saying, so you know, staring into this, not looking at you, just being into my thoughts, bro, this is the most powerful part of the podcast. This is amazing. Because I used to take that train to the city and shit. Like, bro, there's stories here, bro. This is insane. Next person that does this podcast, bro, you're in for some shit because this was an experience, bro. This was a genuinely great podcast experience.
I appreciate you so much, dude.
You're great at what you do, bro. Wish nothing but the best for you, bro. And next year we'll do this again, bro. Once a year, bro. I love doing this every year. Just, bro, I can see my growth from our last pod to now because even how I'm dressing like a fucking bum bozo. Now, like from last year to now, like I care so much more about my appearance and how I look and how people perceive me. Not like it matters, but just that evolution that I can see visually. And if I can end the pod with one thing, are we still rolling?
Yeah.
There's music coming. I'm getting back to my music roots. Can't wait to get back into music. Can't wait to keep doing videos. I'm looking forward to working with a lot more people. We should definitely make a song together. I know that you sing and shit. Me and Turk have to make music together, but this year, I want to get back to my roots. A lot of music, a lot of videos, a lot of love, a lot of fun. And one thing that I could say that I really want to end it because it was like the quote of my whole entire world tour, something that I took back from that tour here, I think I said on the last Mad Minds podcast, was everybody needs a hug, bro. I realized that when I was overseas, bro, and we can't communicate with each other. You could be a billionaire, you could be a bum. Both of those people need a hug. So that's how I'm gonna end it. I know I ended it with the sun thing, but that's very powerful too. Everybody needs a hug, everybody.
I appreciate you, bro. Real quick, let the people know where they can find you, socials, Instagrams, any shout outs. Now's the time to do it.
All right, so YouTube, AK40DEVIN, Instagram, AK40DEVIN Official. You can find me on Instagram at Devin's Vision, or you can find me on the web on all platforms at Soundstick Productions, soundstickproductions.com, Soundstick Productions on Instagram, TikTok, X, Meta, whatever. We on there. Or you can find me outside in the streets in AyooChill's car. Let's get it.
Guys, you
How's it
already
going,
know the
brother?
business.
Good. This yours?
Yep.
You're professional, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do film work and photography for a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can get in the shot if you want. You can say hi to the camera. We're filming something.
You are?
Yeah, yo, you're fine though. It's like a right now we're filming almost like a podcast. You could call it some sorts. But it's cool. Not as dope. Is it cool if I keep you in the shot? Is it cool?
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
Alan?
Alan. Nice to meet you, Alan. I'm Beto. This is Dev.
Devin, nice to meet you, Alan.
You.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Little Falls, so I'm a little bit of ways from here. I'm from Jersey.
Oh,
I'm from Stony Point.
I'm
Yeah.
way far from there.
Where are you from?
Colorado.
Oh, we were
sweet.
just talking about
We
Colorado.
were just talking about
Really?
Colorado. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did a shoot with a soccer player, and he's gonna be playing for the Colorado Rapids.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
We
You
got
know
really
this
big
guy?
size.
He's a soccer player from Brazil.
Hey,
Brazil.
how's it going, brother? Nice to meet you. I'm Devin.
Long ways to Brazil.
Yeah. Portuguese.
Portuguese.
I'm Peruvian.
Oh, you are from
Yeah,
Peru?
I'm from Peru. Yeah. I just came back from Peru like last month. I went to a wedding, but I don't speak any Portuguese, unfortunately. I speak more Spanish, if anything. But yeah, very nice to meet you. Is this your wife?
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah, hi.
Kathy.
How you doing,
Nice to meet
Kathy?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to meet
you.
They're doing a podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up right now. We were just we headed up to the 9W Market. I don't know if you guys have been there before, but it's maybe 7 minutes away from here. If you guys are hungry, I would recommend it. One of the best places to get food around here. It's like literally 5-7 minutes away from here. If you take 9W up, it's called the 9W Market.
Okay.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you should know.
Yeah.
You live here.
I know a lot of mention. Well, guys, it's so incredible
Yeah,
to
nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
For
Great to
sure.
meet you guys.
Nice to meet
Take
you.
care and everyone be safe.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, Happy
Take
New
care.
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, guys. Take care. That was awesome. AyooChill podcast at YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you find your podcasts. AyooChill Studios on the Instagram. And yeah, dude. Let's call it a pod, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Sound Sick Productions, bro.
Let's go.
Sound Sick Productions.
And shout out to Mad Minds too.
Hell yeah, bro. We got on the same hat.
There we are.
That was sick, dude.